Welcome to the World Crusade. My name is Adekbosi Okukwe, and we are going to be talking about um, personal finance today. We're talking about personal finance today. For those of you in Nigeria, I'm at the Forge, and we're doing some. Today is like a roller coaster of meetings for me because we're about to move to site, and God has been helping us. So I'm having like about 3-4 meetings today. All right, so how's everyone doing? Let me know where you are joining from. Let me know. Okay, so let's record that. So the chat box is open and we can make use of that for communication. Again, this is supposed to be an interactive program, interactive platform. So I may bring up a topic, but you can also ask questions based on your experience, based on your challenges, and then we'll see how to solve them together. All right. So if you haven't shared this live stream, you can do well to share this live stream on your social media handles. Share it. Click on the share. You see somewhere at the top, if you're on or below the video, where you can share this. Now, the major issue a lot of people have with wealth creation is how to get started. Okay, the problem is not that you don't want to build wealth, but for most people, they're just not in a position to build wealth sustainably. You're not in a position to build wealth sustainably, and that's why a lot of people get stuck. Okay, building wealth is a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle, and if you're hearing me, you can type it in the chat. It's not an action. It's not an event. Wealth creation is not a hack. Okay, it's a lifestyle. Wealth is purpose driven. And I'm not talking about just making money. There's a big difference between making money and being wealthy. There's a big difference between riches and wealth, even though we may use them interchangeably once in a while. Okay, so what exactly are we talking about today? The first thing you need to understand if you need to build wealth, and I'm going to run for maybe 20 minutes, and then I'll give room for questions. If you're a part of any of my communities, my mentorship, either it's the money management mentorship, either it's one of my coaching clients, whichever way you have access to me, you can either ask questions here or you can ask those questions later on. If you want to. All right. Okay. So, the first question you need to ask yourself if you want to build wealth is why? What is the goal? What is the goal of this venture? Right? What are you seeking to achieve? If you are trying to build wealth just because it's going to feel good when you have money, I'm not saying you will not become rich. You may have money, but you may lose your soul in the process. All right, so you need to know why. What's your motivation? For Christians, for believers, as I said last week, the Bible actually says we should not overstretch ourselves to be rich. It's not as if God doesn't want you to have money, but when we're talking about accumulating money, it has to have a purpose. All right. If it doesn't have a purpose, it's just going to end up like that rich young ruler, like that man who said, he has built his barns. He had, a bountiful harvest. He says, now I will tear down my barns. I will build new ones. And basically, there was no purpose to the wealth apart from accumulating, apart from keeping it. And life is not designed that way. Nature is not designed that way. And in fact, the kingdom of God is not designed that way. We are actually stewards. We are stewards of resources. So if wealth comes into your hand, those are talents, those are resources, and you have to be responsible for them. And the person who gave those things to you is going to dictate how you use them. So you need to understand the goal for wealth. And I said my personal conviction is that some people are singled out to be stewards of these resources. All right, to be stewards of financial resources. And I said steward. So they're going to have, if you see that, you're positioned to make a lot of money, or for a lot of money to pass through your hands, then that bequeaths some level of responsibility. Also, if you have that desire, that you just have a desire to make money, and it's a pure, actually a sacred desire, to build business, to scale, to grow, to make impact, you also may be in that line where you're going to be a steward of resources, not just money, influence, leverage, fame, and you can use that to serve God and serve humanity. All right. Now, the question I'm answering today is, how do I start? How do I start? For a lot of people, and I don't know if you are here, you are working in a job, 8 to 5, 9 to 5, wherever you are in the world, and you're making some money, you're getting by. Sorry, just give me 10 seconds. Yeah, I got a sneeze there. So you're making money, you're getting by, but the problem is that the money is not compounding. Money is not meeting money inside your pocket. Okay, if you're going to build wealth, money has to meet money. Money should not meet empty. So for most people, there's money that comes in, and that money depletes before another one comes in. So number one, that is actually building wealth in reverse. Okay, it's like pouring water into a leaking bucket, into a leaking basket. So where do you start from? And this is the mistake. This is the main point of today's show, or today's episode, is that there is a misconception that if I learn how to, well, it's not a misconception, it's probably just an ill-informed decision to learn everything I can about investing, about finance and financial markets, stock trading, day trading, forex trading, crypto, anything that has to do with financial markets. So there's that misplaced priority that some people place, and they go out there and spend all their time becoming a professional stock trader, a professional forex trader. Right? And you may spend 5 years of your life becoming a professional in trading, in picking cryptos and flipping cryptos or stocks and things like that. But the main challenge usually is that you don't have capital, and you cannot build wealth without capital. Even in the parable of the talents, the king gave to those servants, one, he gave one 5 talents, he gave another one 2 talents, and he gave one. But there was no servant that did not have something. So if you are trying to trade and you do not have capital, now I'm not saying you should have $1 million or 100 million or even 10 million or whatever number you want to put on it, but it's actually not about how much you have saved up. It's actually about the vehicle or the structure of your finances, and I'm going to explain what I mean. So has it ever occurred to you, or have you ever asked someone this question, or has someone ever asked you this question? I have 2 million naira, what can I invest in? I get this a lot. I mean, if I was to get, a kobo or a naira for every time people ask me this question, I should be a billionaire by now. Okay, and we will be a billionaire without that anyway. I'm not going to wait for people to ask me. But the point is, if you are asking that question, you are actually in the wrong mindset. You are in the wrong frame of mind for building wealth, because you are saying, I have this. You are talking about a reservoir. You're not talking about a flow, and wealth is a flow. So there is some dissonance there, because you can invest your 10 million in real estate and the deal can go bad. It may not be real estate going bad. It may be your agent messing you up. It may be the client or the seller or the economy or the financing structure. Something can happen. And because that's your entire one shot, your entire effort in one attempt. A lot of people come back with such stories and say, oh, crypto doesn't work, forex doesn't work, real estate, if they tell you to buy land, don't answer them. It's not as if any of those things don't work. It's because you were just ill-informed. Wealth creation is a lifestyle. Wealth creation is a journey. All right. So the mistake would be to take your energies and focus them on growing the investment when you should be focusing on making more money primarily. And I'm speaking from personal experience. Majority of people who are trying to invest in the stock market or learn to trade there's nothing wrong with those instruments. There's nothing wrong with forex trading. Actually, forex trading is one of my, I don't know what I would call it, or just say trading in general, not just forex trading. It's not about trading, it's about technical analysis. It's just, that's my hobby, that's my leisure, that's how I catch fun. I can be a loner sometimes. But that's how I grew up in charts. And that's how I, am intellectually stimulated by analysis, projections, and things like that. But when it comes to building wealth, that's not where you start. Because those markets were designed for people that have money, that have capital. And it's designed to help them grow their capital and preserve their wealth. Grow their capital above inflation, and they're not expecting to do 100% a year in the stock market. They're not expecting to do, it's more of wealth management. But because of the influx of technology, and now we have the retail investors, we have the ordinary person having access to Bamboo, to Rice Vest, to brokers, and to Chaka. You can go up and buy stocks and hear the news. Social media has made it look like everybody has access. And I always tell people that the fact that you have access to something does not mean that you are qualified to profit from it. You can write that down, or you can type it in the chat. Don't forget this. The fact that you have access to a vehicle, to an opportunity, it could be investment opportunity, it could be business opportunity, it could be career, but does not mean you are qualified to benefit, to profit. All right. So when you see an opportunity online, they say AI stocks are going up now. The people that are profiting from AI stocks the most are the entrepreneurs in the AI industry, not even the investors. It's the entrepreneurs, the business owners. All right, the people that started the business, came up with the idea, built the system, and they're leveraging that to build tremendous wealth. Okay? So what is your own vehicle? What's your own capital generator? How are you going to generate the capital that you can use to build wealth? Okay? Says, okay, no, I think that's the wrong script. That's the wrong reference. Anyway, let's leave that. So if you have a job, I'm not saying to ignore investing. I'm not saying to ignore your interest in stocks, your interest in trading, your interest in investing. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that is not your priority. In fact, if I was mentoring you and your finances were not in good shape, I mean, maybe you're not making enough to survive the month, I would say forget about investing. Because you only have 24 hours a day and your attention and your energy is limited. So focus that on making money, getting yourself into a place where you have positive cash flow every month, and then your disposable income, your investable cash can increase. When you are in that space, then you can start looking at putting some of this money aside. But if you don't have money to eat, you cannot have money to put aside. And that's on the lower end. Even if you are comfortable, you're earning a high income, if your finances are not in good shape, you won't be able to. You need to get that part right. You need to get your balance sheet or your income statement right. The profits, the income, the expenses, you need to get that right. Your income and expense cannot be like this and you're trying to invest. Income should be up, expenses should be here. And the higher your income is above these expenses, the more sustainable your efforts can be in investing, in building wealth. So if you earn 1 million and your monthly expense is 950,000, there's really no buffer, because with the rate of inflation and everything, over time, if you started this year with that kind of scenario, by now probably your cost of living has jumped to 1.3 million, but your salary is fixed. So there's nothing you need to do for the bills to go up. Those ones, it's a guaranteed experience. Your bills will go up. You need to make sure that your income is also going up. So professional development, career development, improving yourself, personal self education, making yourself more valuable so you can command more income, you can charge more, you can increase your prices, and you can stay competitive and relevant, and even increasingly relevant. When you focus your efforts there, even if you are not, you will be okay, you will be fine, you will do well, even if you are not the financial juggernaut. Because what happens is that usually people make money through business. That's the primary way wealth is created. And then wealth is managed in the financial markets. The primary way you build wealth is through business, is through effort, is through skill. Let me not narrow it to business, but let's call it enterprise. Whether you are in a career or a consultant or self-employed or owner of a business, that is enterprise. You create capital through enterprise. The problem is most of us, we eat the income. And I said last week that the income you get from enterprise is your seed. It's meant to take care of you in the present, but it's also meant to be your seed for building wealth. So if you don't get that part right, you will always find yourself eating the seed that you're meant to be sowing. All right. So I discovered something very, and let me know if you're getting value from this. I think there are a few people on. Human capital actually has a financial value. Human capital has a financial value. When you're talking about wealth planning and all that, you can actually calculate the value of your human capital. Maybe one of these days, I'll take us through that process. It's be a fun exercise to look at, okay, this is how much I earn in a year, all right? And then we apply some factors to it, and then we can say, you know what, this is the value of my skill. This is the value of my capital. When I say human capital, your effort, your knowledge, your expertise. So if you increase your expertise, increase your skill, your human capital increases, and your human capital can be converted or will be converted to cash, to financial capital. And financial capital is what you are able to manage. So later on, when we start talking about managing your wealth, managing your portfolio, Managing your portfolio, please let me open it. Just open the two doors. Managing your portfolio, you would realize that is actually secondary. That's secondary. You've created the capital, first of all, with your skill, with your enterprise, with your business, and then you converted that capital into financial capital. And that financial capital is what you now put into the financial markets. All right. So I wanted to stress that today, because later on we're going to start talking about money management. I personally believe everyone right now in the 21st century, there's enough information, there's enough tools, there's enough support, there's enough wisdom out there for you to actually manage your money by yourself and actually outperform the traditional institutions. That's my belief, and that's been my experience personally. The problem is that, as I said earlier, majority of people are not qualified. And not being qualified doesn't mean you are exempted. It just means you have to upskill. It means there are things that you have to learn. And it's not harder than what you've already gone through building up yourself as a consultant. It's just an extra skill. Financial literacy is an extra skill. Investing is an extra skill. Money management is an extra skill that you have to learn. All right. It was after I did my MBA that I began to talk less to people about investing, because I suddenly realized why they say 95% of people lose money in the stock market. Is because, as I said, the fact that you have access does not mean you are qualified. And for some of you to take a couple of years to unlearn the mindset, even when you acquire the knowledge, to unlearn the bad habits, the limiting beliefs, the greed, and the emotional instability. Some of us we're on revenge mode. You just want to you want to blow, you want to hammer to make a statement. You have to unlearn all those things, some through experience or through mentorship, before you can begin to build something sustainable. All right. So we're 30 minutes in, and so what's your takeaway from this session? You need to have something to leverage. You cannot just jump into financial markets. You cannot just jump into investing. You cannot just jump into building wealth. In fact, you are not on that table. The first thing you need to ask yourself is, what do I have? What do you have in your hands? What do you have in your hands? The Bible says that whatever your hand finds to do, do it diligently. Do it with all your might. For some of you, what is in your hands, economically speaking, is a job. Do it with all your might. Not just for the sinister move of making extra money to build wealth, but do it well. Serve your employers well. You are going to learn about enterprise. You're going to increase your value to your employer and to the market, and you'll be well prepared when you eventually want to go out and launch your own. So if you're not faithful in another man's business, who will commit yours into your hands? You see that? So those are basic eternal principles that you can even find in the Bible. So you have to leverage something. And the first thing you can leverage from most people is your job, it's your career. The second thing you can leverage is a business. So start something on the side. And if you are lucky to be operating in a space where, you have the opportunity to put in your effort for active income and also earn passive income or residual income, that is like the best of both worlds. So if you're working in an organization and they give you stock options, some organizations will give employees equity in the business. That's like the best of both worlds. So it's in your best interest to make that work. you are working on the business, your active income, you're earning a salary, but you are also building the value and your net worth alongside. You see that? So you can also do that even if you are working for yourself. There are industries where you can create a product and also earn residual income on the side. And this is why I always preach affiliate marketing or network marketing for a lot of people who want to just get into entrepreneurship. It's a way for you to sell a product and also earn passive income. And that passive income is an accelerator for wealth. You can just park it aside, just forget that it exists, and you can use that as your cash flow that will fund your wealth building activities. So we talked about leverage, your skill, and your business. Now, in conclusion, I talked about priorities, where you should put your priorities. I'm not saying, for example, this particular show, this platform, this weekly live stream we're covering everything from personal finance, business, entrepreneurship, personal growth, investing, everything, right? Purpose, wealth, and all that. Impact. So you are going to learn about investing. You are going to learn about business. You are going to learn about trading. And there will be opportunities to engage. But most of those efforts are secondary. If you don't get the primary priority right, you may be wasting your time. Because when push comes to shove, you will go and sell the land or sell the Bitcoin when the market is bearish, when the market is in the down cycle, a downswing, and you are hard pressed for cash because you have not perfected or stabilized your cash flow. You are going to sell your assets for less than what they are worth. You see that? And that's the story of most people, even with real estate, even with land, even with trading, even with investing. You're buying Bitcoin, you're buying crypto. When the market goes down 60%, that's when the deal you expected didn't come through, and then you have to pay school fees. You sell the Bitcoin, and then you're back to zero. Are you seeing that? So your focus should be on investing in increasing and sustaining your cash flow. It should be a pipeline. Every month, I have 50,000 that is going to investments. It's an investment bucket. You don't have to invest it every month, but it's going into a bucket. That this bucket is for freedom, financial independence, wealth creation. And when the opportunities come, you will have gunpowder, you will have resources available to take advantage. That's how wealth is created. In fact, we learn from the great investors like Warren Buffett that the greatest value in investment is actually made at the point of purchase. It's at the point of purchase that the greatest value is actually acquired. So instead of maybe buying Bitcoin at 95,000 thereabout, 100,000, and waiting to do 50% of that, if the Bitcoin goes to 150,000, that's 50% growth. But if you had this money when Bitcoin went down to 50,000 or 15,000, as it did about 2 years ago, right now 100,000, you will be at 600%. And when it goes to 150,000, that will be 1,000%. Are you seeing that? So the greatest value is created at the point of purchase. But most of us are not ready to strike when the opportunity comes. It's when the opportunity comes that you're not prepared. So it's always important to structure your life such that at every point in time, when opportunities come, I can engage, I can take a position, and then you let that ride, because that's not your livelihood. That's your freedom project. And you're focusing your efforts on your job, on being the best you can be, giving value to the market, improving yourself, serving your customers, serving your employers, and basically just living. All right. So we're going to end there for today. If you have questions, you can put them in the comment section. Thank you for joining. You guys are quite silent today. You're silent today. Drop me a comment. Let me check here. If there are any comments. Okay, if no questions, let me know if you got value from today's live stream. Let me know if you learned something. Let me get your reviews, your feedback. So very soon I'm going to come up with either it's probably going to start as a cohort based, maybe a monthly boot camp. I'm not sure if it's going to be monthly or quarterly, but that's going to be coming up very soon. So be ready. Those of you who are starting out with us, you'll probably get some early bird discount. It's not going to be free, but let's get a bit of traction here, and then based on what I see is the gap, we can do those sessions will be more of customized and strategic sessions to attack specific issues that we see coming up within the community. All right, so we're gonna stop here for today. Thank you so much. This was episode 2. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you have not done that, and also turn on notifications. We're going to be here again next week Tuesday at 2 p.m. Lagos time, talking about how to build wealth in record time. So have a great day. I need to head into some of my other meetings I have in about 20 minutes now, and we'll see you again. Cheers. God bless.